Welcome to Bologna, a city known for its medieval towers, endless porticos, and the oldest university in the Western world. In today's video, we'll explore its main square, historic buildings, academic halls, and some of the most atmospheric corners of the old city. Hello from Bologna, Italy. I just arrived here today and I'm going to be spending the next 24 hours exploring everything this beautiful city has to offer. I'm actually here because I'm going to walk another long distance trail, but this video is about Bologna and everything I get to explore here. I'm currently in Piazza Maggiore, which is the heart of Bologna and the most famous landmark. There is an actual cinema here. I don't know when exactly you can watch movies, but this is pretty amazing. Piazza Maggiore has stood at the heart of Bologna since the 13th century, a vast civic square that has served as the city's political, religious and social center for over 700 years. Paved in stone and surrounded by monumental architecture, it reflects the ambitions and contradictions of a medieval commune that rose to prominence through trade, learning and local power. The square has fulfilled many roles throughout history. It was once a marketplace, a stage for public executions and a gathering ground for civic celebrations. It continues to anchor Bologna's public life, framed by buildings that trace the city's transformation across centuries. Dominating the southern edge is the Basilica of San Petronio, dedicated to the city's patron saint. Construction began in 1390 with plans to rival the Vatican's grandeur, yet the facade remains famously unfinished, a testament to political tensions and shifting papal authority. On the western flank rises the Palazzo da Curzio, once the seat of Bologna's municipal government. Its red brick towers and clock facade mask a complex structure developed over centuries, now home to the city's art collections and historical archives. There is a lot of construction currently going on in the city, which might take away from the experience, but you can definitely still appreciate its beauty. Right from the square you can see Torre dell'Orologio, which can be visited, and I'm gonna try to visit now. There's this beautiful courtyard here right by the main square. I'm still trying to figure out where the tower is because there are so many entrances and none of them seems to be the tower. So yes, I am in the right place. I went up the stairs and they have a few art galleries, and I think the tower should be around here as well. Wow, look at this. This is really, really beautiful. It was worth coming up here. And a better view of the square. Walking across the city often means walking beneath one of the most distinctive architectural features, the porticos. With over 60 kilometers of covered walkways, Bologna holds a unique place in urban history. These arcades began in the Middle Ages, when buildings were extended outward to create more space above the streets. What started as a practical solution eventually became a defining element in the city's identity. In 2021, a large portion of Bologna's porticos was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This particular stretch leads to one of Bologna's great intellectual landmarks, the Archiginnasio. Built in the 16th century, it served as the main seat of the University of Bologna, the oldest university in the Western world. The courtyard is surrounded by arcaded walkways, each surface filled with coats of arms and stone inscriptions. These were created to honor students and professors who held important roles within the university. The shields represent different student nations, while the larger plaques commemorate rectors and prominent graduates. Even the ceilings are covered with emblems, forming a dense visual record of the university's history. At the top of the staircase is the Sala dello Stabat Mater, once the main reading room of the university library. The room is lined with thousands of heraldic symbols, framing Latin inscriptions that honor academic achievement. Today, the room is used for lectures and concerts, but the original bookshelves remain, holding volumes on subjects from natural science to philosophy. The most famous room is the Anatomical Theatre, built in 1637 for the teaching of anatomy to medical students. The entire room is made of carved wood, with a coffered ceiling and life-size statues of ancient physicians and scholars. The ceiling features allegorical figures representing constellations and medical subjects. The tiered benches were designed so that students could observe dissections performed on the marble table at the center of the room. Every time I visit something in Italy, there is so much going on. There is so much art and so many details that I'm just overwhelmed. I don't know what to film first. I don't know what to look at first. And yeah, I'm also missing a lot of information because I don't know that many things about all the places I visit. And normally I research afterwards instead of researching before. It is 5 p.m. and after so many attractions, I think an aperitivo would be great. So I'm gonna find a nice wine bar and I'm gonna have an aperitivo before dinner. I always forget that in Italy, places close between lunch and dinner, and I'm actually normally used to having like a 4 or 5 p.m. meal and then a dinner snack. But that is not the Italian way. So I'm actually staying in a hostel in Bologna for 2 reasons. One, I was hoping to meet some people hiking on Via degli Dei, which didn't happen. Nobody seems to know what that is. And the second reason is that I'm trying to lower the budget as much as I can, and I got some nice accommodation on the trail. Here in front of me you can see the 2 towers, which are temporarily closed. Now I'm walking towards these 2 towers. I cannot remember any of the names. Besides Piazza Maggiore, I don't remember any name. As I mentioned, there is a lot of construction around. Normally you can visit both of these towers, but they're temporarily closed. The last destination for the day is Basilica of Santo Stefano. There's multiple churches next to each other, like a complex. Look at this. Look at these arches and these buildings. And I think it's this one. There are so many people around now, everywhere. When the evening comes, everyone goes out and it's so lively. Everyone's having aperitivos and then dinner. I love Italy. Look how beautiful this area is. I'm so happy I found this spot. Definitely something not to be missed. Just off the main square is one of Bologna's most unusual landmarks, the Basilica of Santo Stefano, also known as the Seven Churches. This religious complex was built over many centuries and originally included 7 connected churches, each with its own purpose. Today, 4 of them remain, forming a maze-like layout of chapels, corridors, and cloisters. The central courtyard, once used for religious gatherings, is lined with carved stone tombs and decorative brickwork, while a second cloister at the back leads to a peaceful well at its center, a symbolic reminder of spiritual renewal. The oldest part is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Its round shape was inspired by the Church of Jerusalem, believed to house Christ's tomb. Throughout the complex you can see reused Roman columns, early medieval carvings, and traces of old frescoes. There is so much going on. The courtyards, the churches. Wow, do not miss this attraction if you come to Bologna. It really exceeded my expectations, and I almost missed it. Now, this road should take us to the best gelato in Bologna. This place is a little bit outside of the center, which is why I didn't actually come all the way here yesterday, but it is said to be the best gelato in Bologna. Apparently it got that distinction a few times, so I guess it's worth a try. I did have some gelato in the center though, and it was really good. I don't know how it can get better than that, but I'm open to finding out. Here are more of the beautiful archways. Look at these buildings. Look at the details. It's just fascinating to me. And here it is. Here it is. I got nocciola and pistachio. I always get pistachio with everything, so I don't know how to film myself trying it though. I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, it's much better than the one I had in next to the central square. So if you want an amazing gelato, try this one. And I noticed there are just locals around getting like larger portions of gelato, which is a good sign. So yeah, not as touristy as the central one, but the atmosphere around this time of the day is just so amazing that I don't think I can make it justice with my camera. And look behind me. Can you see that? Like, look at this building, and then there's a tower there, and then there's this. Yeah, it really comes to life after 7 p.m. And we are back to the square. I realized I didn't visit the library that's right in the square because I thought it would be just a normal library, but apparently it's unique. There are ruins underneath it, so hopefully it'll still be open because I really want to see that. And I almost missed it. Yes, here it is, and it's still open. They actually closed the part with the ruins under the floor, so I couldn't really see it. There was a private event as well. So back to the square. It's time to say goodbye to beautiful Bologna, and tomorrow I will start my adventure.